Alright, what's up, everybody? This podcast episode is going to be a little different. I speak to Humphrey Yang indirectly in this episode. I asked him a few questions via email about personal finance and investing. Why? Because he knows a lot about personal finance and investing. Go check out his TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'll put that in the show notes. And yeah, he's going to answer a few questions about personal finance and investing. And hopefully you guys enjoy and get a lot of value from these questions and answers. So guys, enjoy.
First question is, at what age do you think people should start investing in the stock market? I think that if you can invest in the stock market at the age of 18, that would be wise if you just buy into index funds. So typically when you're 18, you just don't know that much about the stock market. And I think that at 18, it's going to be hard to ask an 18-year-old to basically pick stocks that he thinks are going to do well in the next 5 or 10 years. So the more safer option is just to buy an index fund or an ETF that tracks the market. And that'll just give you a small piece of every little company that's in the market. So that way it diversifies you a little bit, and that way you're invested in the market still for a long-term positive relationship with the market. I guess I would say that. Number 2, picking out a brokerage, searching for stocks, and all the lingo that goes with investing can be very confusing. What books, podcasts, YouTube videos, or other resources do you recommend to a novice investor? So I read a lot on the subreddit investing. So if you go to reddit.com/r/investing, you can learn a lot of basic investing information just from that book, not that book, that resource. And then the other books that I can recommend for you are, everyone tells you to read The Intelligent Investor by Ben Graham. And it is a good book, but it is a little dry at times and can be a little bit overwhelming. I find that the resource on Reddit is pretty good because you get a lot of FAQs from people, especially if you search through, the top questions on that subreddit, and you can learn a lot just by reading, the responses on there. Now, not everyone knows what they're talking about on Reddit, so you kind of have to sift through it yourself a little bit. But in general, you can get an idea of what common questions are there. They have a good frequently asked questions section. So I usually recommend that. In addition to watching some YouTube videos, I like watching Graham Stephan. He's obviously very good with his investing. If you watch Andre Jikh, Jikh, he's really good with dividend stocks, and he tells you all about his dividend portfolio. There's a few other good YouTubers, but I would stick with those two. And then the Reddits can be pretty good to start with investing. But obviously, investing is still very complicated, even with all that information. So I would generally recommend younger people to do as much research as they can before diving into investing. But, it's hard to go wrong with an index fund, like from question 1. So, all right, let's go to question 3. Do you believe in day trading, or is that a giant no-no? If so, how would you go about investing in riskier investments to potentially yield a greater return? Or should we just play it safe and invest in long-term? I don't believe that day trading is a giant no-no, but I think for newer investors, it's generally good to stay away from it because you just don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, then day trading can be rather lucrative, but obviously, there are going to be some more tax implications with day trading. You're going to qualify for short-term capital gains rather than long-term capital gains if you hold it for longer than a year. So day trading is okay if you actually have a system and you can prove that you can trade a lot. Because if you do trade a lot, I don't know what the number of trades is, but if you do day trade a lot, like you place a certain amount of trades in the calendar year, you actually get a different type of tax preference or tax treatment, and you're treated as a day trader, which has a lower tax rate than just short-term capital gains. I would say most people that are day trading, especially on TikTok or on Robinhood, are just making speculative bets, and it's more like gambling rather than investing because they're just trying to make a short-term profit. For investing in riskier investments, obviously anything that you invest in is going to have some risk, right? So the greater the returns you want, the more risky it's going to be, typically in most of everything in life. So it really depends on what you want to do with your investing life or your investing style. I prefer a safe and long-term strategy, which always just involves index funds, ETFs over a really long period of time. And I consistently save and I consistently invest because I know that stuff works. And I know that in 40 years, I'm going to be sitting pretty well if I do that. And in general, I've learned from playing, online poker in the past that I do not handle losses very well. I handle losses okay, better than most people, but I would say it's more mentally draining to have a loss. And I always feel like, you don't want to go on tilt and try to catch your losses. So that's why I don't recommend day trading for most people. Most people can't even emotionally handle the thought of a loss. And I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money with day trading or options trading, that so much that they, it's ruined their lives. And, my dad's made a loan before to one of his friends, and he lost it all options trading. And that friend had to end up paying back my dad over 20 years, just like a couple $100 a month. It was kind of ridiculous, but that's what happens to people. They get a little bit too greedy and they play options or they do day trading and they end up losing money. So I would say if you do want to do day trading, you better research the hell out of it and make sure that you know what you're doing, or learn from somebody that is a good day trader, or else you might pay the price. But that's what I would say. Okay, number 4. Multiple sources of income, or focus your craft skill to yield a better ROI on, say, a business. Well, I think a business can be a source of income. I always think that you should have as many sources of income as you can that are, I guess, not adding marginal work for you. So basically what that means is have scalable multiple sources of income. The last thing you want to do is like say you can make a lot of money with multiple sources of income with more labor. So let's say you start a Patreon account, right? And I had a friend that did this. He started a Patreon account and he offered one-on-one calls to people if they paid, the rate of $99 a month. And he would hop on a 30-minute call once a week for this $99 rate. So if you think about it, if that's once a week, that's 4 calls a month at $99. That means each call is $25. So $25 for 30 minutes. So really his hourly with that was $50 an hour. And the problem is you run out of time in the day. You can only get like 10 to 20 patrons that are going to pay you $99 a month before you are running out of time. Obviously, you could make it your full-time job just to have people calling you, but you want something that yields a higher return on your time. And so if you can find income sources that scale really well and are more passive, nothing's going to always be like true 100% passive income besides maybe dividend income, but that's going to be pretty low. But you want to find things where it doesn't take that much more effort to make more money. So that's all about the marginal rate of work. So you want to create more income without adding more work for yourself. And if you can do that efficiently, then that is the best way to have, I think, a successful career and life. To your other point, which is craft a skill or yield a better ROI. Yeah, if you only have one thing that you're really good at, maybe it's best to sharpen that one skill that you're good at and just try to make a lot of money doing that. But for me, what I found is that to make the most amount of money for me, I think that having multiple sources of income is nice because it diversifies your source of income. Like all of a sudden, if I don't have YouTube income, maybe I have income coming from my e-commerce business. If my e-commerce business isn't doing well one day, well, then I'll have income from maybe Patreon or an affiliate network or freelancing work with other e-commerce businesses. So I do think that is good to have multiple sources of income. Number 5, I started using TikTok at the end of last year. I think it was like October, November. I started thinking about making an account. I had been watching for about a couple months. And before TikTok, I didn't really have a personal brand. So since I started posting on TikTok, I do have a personal brand now, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. So I would say if you are going to pursue the content creator route, that it is a good idea if you can dedicate some time to it and be consistent. Number 6. Besides being a content creator, YouTuber, investor, what other businesses or projects are you working on? So I have a poster website. I had a poster website from 2017 to 2020 this year. And I sold it to my business partner because things between him and I we came to a lot of disagreements about how to run the company. So he took the company over. I sold my portion to him, but that company did really well. We had like $1.8 million in revenue over 3 years, which is okay. We didn't take home that much money though. I would say our net profit was closer to 10 or 15%. So not that high, but I did learn a lot, and I am going to start another poster business in the next few weeks here. It's already been in the works for a month or two. So that's one of the business projects I'm working on. I'd like to make my YouTube a lot bigger because right now I just hit 20,000 subscribers and I'm really happy about that. But I'd like to see it get to 100,000 because I know that 100,000, the ad revenue starts to become substantial, that I could actually make it a full-time job. But right now it's not really a full-time job. It barely pays. So it's really tough some days because, you want to be making a good income from whatever you're doing. And like I just said in my earlier answer to you, you don't want to add more work for less money. So I view YouTube as more of a long-term play because maybe one day, if I have a lot of subscribers and followers that are learning something from me, then the ad revenue will be nice and they'll at least keep me fed and allow me to continue to make great videos for people, which is hopefully the dream, right? So number 7, if you're making or working on a business, what is it about? Okay, I just explained it. Yeah. So it's just a poster website. Posters have pretty good margins and they are easy to ship, which I like. The provider I have is in the middle of the country somewhere, so easy shipping rates and good central hub. And the posters are going to be about stars. So basically you can get a custom poster of what the stars look like on any day at any time. And the website, I don't know when this podcast is going up, but the website will be called mapyournight.com. So it's not live right now. It's just locked, but it's called mapyournight.com. And I'll probably start promoting it on my TikTok and my YouTube, maybe when it's live. And I'm going to use some influencer ads to start and then Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So that should be pretty fun. It's already a project that I've worked on before. It's not like I'm going in blind because I had my other poster business. I know exactly how it works, how the margins work, how the advertising will work. So I'm pretty confident in that business, but we'll see, right? There's always going to be unknowns.
So there you have it, guys. Humphrey, thank you for answering all my questions. I think the key points, the key lessons I took away from your answers were that ETFs, just investing in the long term, is the ideal thing to do. I think day trading is really, really stressful. You need to be really skillful for that to get those returns. And in terms of like your business, I'm really excited to hear and to see when your business opens and really see how that plays out with your Facebook ads, influencer ads, and to see how you brand it. Because you said previously you had another business partner that you created these posters and you created a business, you generated over $1 million. That sounds really exciting, and it's going to be really cool to see how you progress through your second venture of another poster business. And I do have to agree that I think having multiple sources of income is important. I guess you can't put all your eggs on one basket. If you're only relying, say, like having an income on just YouTube and that goes down, then you're not going to have any more money coming from somewhere. So definitely diversify your portfolio, have multiple sources of income. So yeah, just to be safe, get money from multiple sources. If one goes down, you can at least rely on another. And if that goes down, at least you have another one. So it's definitely going to be a lot of work because you have to do multiple things. But if you can pull it off and you're happy about it, and it's going to make you feel a lot more safe. And obviously, I think you can make a lot more money. But I think the key point is it's a lot more safe just not relying on one source of income. Because if that goes down, then you can push forth on another one and so forth, right? So, Humphrey, thank you once again. I really appreciate you being so flexible with your time. And yeah, thank you very much. And I wish you the best of luck with your new venture. And hopefully you get to 100K on YouTube. I'll put your YouTube channel link on the show notes. So yeah, let's get to 100K. So thank you, Humphrey. Have a good one.